by the time I get to actually training in the IZW school rather than just going, and seeing my friends each week and everything, and then sitting and learning, I'll actually have a decent physique, and I'll be able to do all the training. And it never became but they knew I could talk, and so they gave me a shot as a manager. What was funny is they had initially talked to me like months before I had become the fun bad guy manager we all know him as Beaver Las Vegas. They had talked to me about being a face manager, kind of late Captain Lou Albano style. And I believe one of the guys they were talking about was, you remember Dave Taylor? He was a big, tall guy. We used to call him Big Bird in the company.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he was coming in, they were talking about having me manage him as a face manager, and nothing ever came of that. And kind of I'll explain the reason it never came of that. So I was doing the ring announcing stuff at the sets at the time. Justin Roberts was a heel, and I don't know if were you there at the time I had my little thing with Justin Roberts?
No, I didn't come until like 2009.
2000, yeah, so this would have been about 2005-ish,
Damn,
if I remember
correctly. 6 years on me in the business already. Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, and I was still low man on totem pole when you got there, so that'll tell you exactly how much a lot of the guys respected me. Not everybody. A lot of them did actually respect me, but there were people in the back who I don't think ever gained any modicum of respect.
I thought you were fucking cool as shit. Because you didn't give a fuck what anybody thought. Because you didn't give a fuck what anybody thought about you. You just did your thing.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I was just gonna be the same kind of nerdy kid I always was. But yeah, what happened was at some point Justin Roberts decided he was going to turn heel. He was going to be, instead of being the ring announcer, he was going to be the heel authority figure. And that was for a couple months. But one of the things he would do, and he would never tell me he was going to do this because he was also being a real kayfabe heel with the boys for all those months. So people were legitimately thinking this guy's an asshole, and he kind of was at the time.
He fabed me too, bro. He fabed me too.
Yeah. But he would do the thing where he would like interrupt me, and then in the middle of the show, while the crowd was there and everything, and he would deride me for, oh, you're not a real ring announcer, blah, 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 blah. Hey, B, why don't you get down in the ring and do push-ups? And I remember this instance very specifically because he did not clear this with me ahead of time.
Oh, shit.
He had me get in the ring, do push-ups, and I get to about 10 push-ups in the ring, and then all of a sudden, one of the guys he was working with, and I hate to say this guy's name because he's since passed away, but one of the guys he had been kind of not even managing, but affiliated with as the heel, authority figure, came in the ring and gave me the stiffest stomps I have ever felt.
Get the fuck out!
And if they had told me that he was going to do that, like I would have been really cool with it, because I would have been like, yeah, that's part of the gimmick. But he never cleared it with me, and those stomps hurt.
Wow!
And I wasn't expecting it.
I got so much in common with you already. Holy shit! Go ahead, keep going.
And so it became this huge thing, and what I had kind of been promised, was that Steve had pulled me aside, Navajo pulled me aside one day, and he had been like, I hope you don't think that we're just doing this to, shit on you week after week. Because here's the thing. I don't have a bad word to say about Navajo. Like, we had our on-air gimmick, but he's just I would work for that guy again in a second.
Oh, yeah, me too.
With that guy
me too.
In a second. He had pulled me aside, and he's just like, so Beaver, what is eventually going to come from this is at some point you're, not going to take it anymore, and you're going to get a good shot at Justin.
Oh, please tell me you stiffed him.
That was the thought that was going to go in the back of my head. I was just like, I'm not necessarily going to potato him, but he's going to get a receipt.
Oh, dude.
And then the weirdest fucking thing happened. Eddie Guerrero died, and so Justin decided that turns him face.
What?
And that just happened one week, and he started to stop becoming the authority figure, and eventually started being like working with IZW, really in an official capacity, at least on air or anything, and kind of left, and I was left to my own devices of doing ring announcing. By that point, they kind of were starting to move to Johnny Rocks as a ring announcer, and I have nothing bad to say about Johnny Rocks. He's a guy I would absolutely work with again in a second, because he's a fun guy to work with.
He's cool shit.
And a fun, person to play off of and everything. And I was cool with, moving aside to have Johnny be the ring announcer. And then finally they had me come in and be the manager for Alama, which was our Kamala, rip-off character.
Right.
And that was a lot of fun. I had a good time doing that. So that's kind of how I, transferred into everything. But, yeah, there were some rocky roads getting to where I was going to do. I still would have loved to have given Justin that receipt, but just because he put me through a lot of stuff that I didn't think was really all that fair, and it might have been him just being in character,
right?
But I don't know.
Oh man, it's so weird
because he was being kayfabe with the boys,
right?
And that included me.
That's fucked. I bet you Navajo told him to do it.
I mean, that is entirely possible.
Dude, I don't doubt it. I was just joking, but I don't doubt it.
Yeah, but I don't think I don't think Nav would have wanted me to suffer for months and months like I had been, because that's one of the reasons he had pulled me aside. He's just like, you're going to eventually get over on Justin at some point.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Not necessarily go over, but you're going to do something. And then unfortunately that receipt never came because, like I said, Eddie Guerrero died, and that weirdly turned Justin's face. I don't know why to this day.
Oh man! So me and another worker from IZW went to Monday Night Raw when it was here, right? One of the times it was here.
Sure.
And Justin Roberts is doing the announcing, and me and this other guy are laughing our asses off about how much of a douchebag he is, right? And his mom is sitting right in front of us, bro.
Right.
And heard the entire conversation. And turned around. She's like, I'm his relative. I'm his mom. I'm like, I don't care, lady. I said, I'm going to continue to do it. You might want to move.
Well, here's the thing. And this has always been my thing about Justin Roberts. And I'm trying not to burn any bridges I have with anybody potentially, but my issue with Justin Roberts is he started in like almost exactly the same position I started in the same area I was in. I was just like a few years behind him, and by the time I was starting to work with IZW, he was starting to work with WWE. So he could have easily been a mentor for me.
Right.
If I was doing something wrong, he could have told me, this is what you're doing wrong, here's maybe some steps how to fix it, and he never did that. He would just shit on me.
Dude, some people don't want you. That's what happens.
Yeah,
some
exactly.
People don't want people to succeed. He's a hater.
And so, yeah, I'm not. I just, with Justin. Although I will say I did sort of work with him on the reunion show.
Oh, nice.
Although he was in the faces corner, I was in the heels corner. He announced the faces, I announced the heels. I got a story to tell you off the air about that.
Okay.
Because I can't confirm this is true, but I want to believe it's true about what happened while this whole thing went on. But yeah, still.
All right. Let me ask you some more questions. Do you believe all managers should have to actually get in the ring and train like they're gonna wrestle?
I believe it helps. If I had not attended, a couple years of the training school and learning how to, bump and learning how to, how the wrestlers were working on the inside, so I knew what to do on the outside, I don't believe I would have been as good a manager as I was. And we can debate all day how good of a manager I actually was.
I think you're great. I think you're a great character, man.
Yeah, I mean, I was somewhat over with the crowd, although I heard from at least one person I managed that I was a heat stealer. So, but no, I did, learn kind of. If I had not been in training, I don't think I would have been a very good manager at all. And I think I was a fairly decent manager, actually. So, yeah, I think you should learn the basics, at least, if you're going to become a wrestling manager. And I know there was a guy kind of we were talking about off air who you didn't feel had done this particular job. We're not going to mention any names, but this is a guy I'm actually okay with him. I think he's made a good go of things in local pro wrestling, but I have no idea of kind of what he's done in the business since I left, because he kind of came in as I was leaving.
Bro, he's in championship wrestling from Arizona right now.
Yeah, I've heard about
travesty.
that. Still haven't seen any of his work.
It's a travesty. It's a fucking travesty. I don't give a fuck. I don't like the guy. I know he's your boy. I don't like him. Fuck him. I'm not going to say his name. I'm going to be cool and not say his name because I don't want to put him the fuck over.
It's totally fine. I will say that one of the, I'm going to be coming back to Arizona. I would like to, think that I'm going to work for some type of company, at least for a short run, because I don't know how long I'll be back in Arizona.
I hope you stick around.
And I would be totally cool in working a gimmick with him where it's kind of you remember like early 90s Paulie Dangerously's New Midnight Express versus Jim Cornette's Midnight Express? Yeah. I would totally be cool with doing some type of angle like that, because I think he's hated enough by the crowd that I could come back and potentially get a face pop.
Oh yeah, dude.
Do
definitely.
a brief run as like a face manager, and then eventually, of course, sweep the legs out of the crowd, because why not? We can talk about how good a person Jim Cornette is all day, but Jim Cornette knew enough about the business to know that Paul Heyman was going to turn him heel for a few months, and then he'd go right back to being a heel, and that's exactly what happened.
Oh wow, no shit. I got a short story about the same guy though, man. I wanted to tell it on air too. I went to go wrestle in Yuma, and it was like one of my last matches, and I had a really good match. Except I wanted to, he was so concerned with getting over, and that's all he wanted to do, that he didn't agree to do anything. Like, he was completely disagreeing with everything that I came up with. And I looked at him, I was like, yo, motherfucker, I'm the vet here, bro. I was like, who the fuck am I talking to? You know what I mean? And I just walked the fuck away from him. He pissed me off real bad with that. I'm like, who's this fucking mark over here being a manager as it is? Because that's all he was to me. It's all he still is to me, is a fucking mark. And he's like trying to fuck my matchup. I'm like, bro, you'll get over regardless. Don't worry the fuck about it. That's my job. I'm the fucking face. I'll put you the fuck over.
Exactly, yeah.
So
I remember the time. I think there was only like one instance where we actually got to do a face-to-face confrontation, and it was for Real Deal Pro Wrestling in a Halloween battle royal where I came in under a hood. You tore the hood off me and immediately tossed me over the top rope. That was fun. I would have gladly have done that, and because. I mean, I probably wasn't, there was some talk of me actually winning that battle royal initially.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
What it was going to, the original plan for that battle royal was for me to come out under the hood. and then when like 5 people are left in the ring, the guy was managing the Yeti was going to come out, toss everybody else out. I was going to